What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It is Friday when I'm recording this. It probably won't be Friday when I post it, but happy day wherever you are. Hope you're having a good day. Today, we're talking about Moses. We're talking about a little story. It takes place in Exodus 17, starting at verse 8. So if you want to read along, that's where we're at. I think it's really powerful. I don't want you to miss this. So the context of what's going on right now, Moses has brought the Israelites out of Egypt. He's performed all these, God has performed all these signs and wonders in order to get the Israelites saved and out of Egypt because they're being heavily oppressed by Pharaoh in Egypt as slaves. So that's what's going on. And now they're making their way through the wilderness, and a people group comes and attacks them. So this is what's happening right now. They are forced to stand up and defend themselves. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim, which I might not be saying right, but bear with me. Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands." And if you don't have any previous context of the staff of God, so God gave Moses special power in this staff that he has. So this staff is special. He takes it everywhere. He recognizes that God uses his glory through him in this staff. So he says, we're going to go on the top of the hill. I'm going to take my staff with me. You choose some men and you go fight them down there. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered, and Moses and Aaron and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. So they're winning. But as soon as he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. Pretty interesting. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held his hands up, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady till sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this on a scroll as something to be remembered, and make sure that Joshua hears it, because I will completely blot out the name of Amalek from under heaven." Excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty powerful when you really sit and think about that. So Moses is on the top of the hill. He's got his hands raised. So he's praying to God. He's in the spirit. He grows tired. And his hands fall down. As his hands fall down, the war that is happening below, their enemies start winning. So his brothers hold his hands up. And so what do we get out of this? I think what we can get out of this is two things. One, life is hard. Battles are hard. Right now, we're not fighting battles like that anymore. We're not fighting, obviously, in the world that is happening. But most people watching this, it's not a battle that you're fighting right now with swords. Okay? The battle that is being fought right now is in our minds, our bodies, our souls, all that good stuff. And it's hard. Fighting a battle is hard by yourself. You need brothers and sisters in Christ to be able to hold your hands up for you when you just can't do it anymore. When you feel like you just can't hold them anymore. You feel like you just can't do it by yourself anymore. You got brothers and sisters in Christ. That's the importance of having community of other believers. So for people who don't like church, who don't want to go to the church for whatever reason, they don't think it's important. Okay, I can understand that. But you have to find these people. And the easiest place to find these people is usually church. And you know what? Don't let anybody stop you from going to church. Don't let anybody stop you. If you find that somebody is not kind to you in that church, maybe you find another one. I say that if you at least, a good mark this is a church you should be in. If you walk in, and maybe it's different for everybody. What does God put on your heart to find in a church? For me, I wanted to walk in to a church and I didn't want to be treated like a stranger. I wanted to be treated like another sister in Christ, another brother in Christ. And I'm a little weird. I'm a little awkward. So, I think if anybody's going to be rude to me, if I'm going to be out and open and loving towards somebody and they're just going to be like, oh, that's kind of weird. Well, guess what? It's no chip off my shoulder. It's a chip off of their shoulder, because they're going to have to answer to somebody someday regarding that, or they probably have to answer to God that day. Who really knows? All I know is it's not my problem. They're supposed to be loving. They're supposed to be welcoming and kind. And if they're not doing that, that's not what they're supposed to be doing, okay? You might want to try to find another church. And so I did eventually find that church where I really felt the Spirit spoke to me through a certain person that was just so awesome and so kind and so loving. And so don't let anyone ruin it for you, man. There are going to be bad apples in church. I mean, if you really want to get into it, they even say that I've seen people who used to be part of like the Church of Satan, that they're directed to go out and join congregations, okay? Not everybody there is going to be good. You have to have your level of discernment on. You have to read the word to know what these people should be doing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting over a cold and okay, sorry. So yeah, I mean, but if you're not going to go to the church, you need to find these people somewhere. You can't do this alone. We were meant to have community and other people who understand the spiritual battles that we're having. We were meant to have community. And I know it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to go out and meet people and do all that. You just got to do it, man. You got to do it for yourself. And if you don't, who's going to hold up your hands when the battle gets too hard? Of course, God's always there. Jesus is always there. But he also tells us to go have this community because he knows that it'll help. When you have people fighting for you in the spiritual realm, it helps. Which leads to the second point here. When the Lord said to Moses, write this on a scroll as something to be remembered and make sure that Joshua hears it. Why did he want to make sure that Joshua heard it? I think he wanted to make sure Joshua heard it so he knows it wasn't just you fighting with the sword down there. This wasn't all just you, big homie. We were up on the mountain. We were fighting in the spiritual realm for this war to be won. So wars are not just won in the physical realm. They are also won in the spiritual realm. And that is why you need these brothers and sisters in Christ who can pray for you, who can intercede for you, who can fight for you in the spirit realm as well. So if you haven't, go find those people. If you're scared to go to church, if you're scared to meet people there, I understand. Take a step of faith. This is called faith for a reason. Take that step of faith. I highly encourage you, go see people in real life. At the least, try to find some community via groups on social media or anything like that. Reach out to these people. Reach out to people who you know have love for God and love for Christ in their heart. And they'll be there. They'll be there for you. Just say, hey, I know that you are someone who loves Jesus, and I'm trying to be someone who loves Jesus too. So maybe we can help each other out a little bit. How does that sound? And if that feels weird for you, sorry, it probably will. It will feel weird for you. I've done this and it feels weird. But you got to be willing to make that step. You got to be willing to make that step. Much love, y'all.